Morgan Family Arena filled to the brim yet again in the Little Apple in a big matchup. The defending Big 12 champions, Arizona State, who has won 17 straight regular Big 12 matches, takes on Kansas State. Courtside with you now, Brian Smother, former All-American Liz Wagner-Bush, alongside with you and our entire crew. And Liz, I know you're like me. I have been buzzing, waiting for this match all season to get to see Arizona State and K-State battle it out.
Yeah, you know, Arizona State, a well-coached team. They have a lot of firepower. K-State's going to try to put up some good defense here and get a home win against a very good opponent here in the Big 12.
Arizona State got a huge win on the road in Lawrence against 14th ranked Jayhawks on Wednesday. Noemi Glover was a big part of that. She'll be a big part of the story tonight.
Yeah, Noemi had 25 kills in that matchup, hit 3-11, had 3 blocks. Coach Van Niel is so excited to have her back with this team, and you can see why. And then on K-State side, you got Anaya Clinton. She had a great game against Arizona, 18 kills, had 10 digs, hit 220. Gonna look for her to really come alive for the Wildcats. She's got a high offensive prowess out there. We want to see her getting a lot of kills for the Wildcats.
3.5 kills per set the last 3 matches for Clinton, who now has 10+ kills in 3 straight matches and a double-double for the second time, as we said, on against Arizona on Friday. So the Wildcats, who are receiving votes in the top 25 just outside the poll after a great run through non-conference play, going up against Glover and the Sun Devils, who have dealt with injuries. As you said, Glover missed some time, now is back. What's key for Arizona State tonight to try and get a Sunflower State sweep?
Yeah, for Arizona State, they really need to put service pressure on K-State. They've got some young players in the mix. Try to put a lot of pressure on them with the service from the service line, and then defense pins. Everyone knows that Shaylee Myers and Nia Clinton, Reagan Fox are really producing for the Wildcats. So if they can shut down the pins, they'll be walk away with a win here this afternoon. For K-State, good first contact. They struggled against Arizona with that first pass. They've got to get themselves in system to allow the hitters to get open, and then they've got to be terminal. Arizona State's a big physical team. They got to put the ball on the floor. Good
first contact was a struggle for the Wildcats in the match against Arizona on Friday night. A disappointing 4-set loss for Kansas State, who had opportunities in the 4th to push it to a 5th in deciding, but failed right at the last minute and lost 25-27. 4th frame. K-State will be in white. They will serve first. It'll be Anaya Clinton, the star of Friday night's match, who almost single-handedly led K-State back into a win. And a service error, an auspicious beginning for Kansas State, who dealt with service errors and a high number of them in the match on Friday. So a side out right away for Arizona State, and they'll go to work. J.J. Van Niel's team ranked 8th in the country, 10-2 with their win on Friday. Alex Cluck gets to start today for K-State in the back row. No Kaylee Pond, who had been splitting time at libero for the Wildcats. Pond in close today over on the bench, so unavailable it would appear. So Cluckman, the other freshman defensive specialist, Lathan Northwest High School in Kansas, is on for K-State. She gets both first 2 serves. Myers, first attempt of the day. And there's cover from the right side. Straight up, straight down.
Wow, you can see exactly why Coach Van Niel is so excited to get her back on the court with this team. So physical. He talked about her physical intensity, how she trains with purpose. You can see a lot of her tonight.
Myers blocked to the near side, goes over and under the hands of the double block of Blair and Neal. So Myers with her first kill. Shaylee Myers was shut down a little bit against Arizona. Still got into double figures for the 6th straight time, but did not hit for a high percentage. Arizona played a lot of attention to Myers, the rating Big 12 Offensive Player of the Week. Left side swing and finish from Bailey Miller, transfer from West Virginia, but she hit it long. So the substance or the side out is to Arizona State off the touch. K-State will be subbing in.
You saw Arizona State doubled up. They double quick on the outside there, really challenging the block State.
K-State also without a starter in Brenna Schmitz. They got 2 starters as LeGrand right at the middle.
That's such a smart play there by LeGrand. You know, everyone's paying attention to those hitters. Getting involved early is really going to help keep that block honest. Smart move by her as she saw that middle already was starting to go outside, trying to shut down Myers.
So the senior setter gets her first, and then she'll go back to serve. Popped up in the air by Arizona State. Right side, Fox just over, but it's out. Fox did well to watch that the entire way. And offensively, K-State off to a better start than they were on Friday.
Yeah, I think they definitely understand that they're going to have to put a lot of pressure on that block of Arizona State. They're big at the net, so really look to put some speed in their offensive toolbox here today.
Tatum Parrott transferred from Grand Canyon for the left side was blocked, but then Clinton from the back row unable to get it over the net. And another attack here. Or Clinton over for a side out to Arizona State. Shallow serve to Sims. Fox unable to get it over. Second 4 hits on K-State.
That was a little bit at Fox, so she's not quite able to keep all of her power into that swing and was kind of having to pull away from the ball.
Colby Neal, transfer from Oregon. A good serve over that has K-State scrambling. Roll shot across. Glover touch. Myers on the right. She's roofed. Parrott slams the door.
Parrott, that does a really nice job with her hands, turns the block back into the court. You'll see here, she really turns those hands, finishes that back into the court.
Again, K-State serve receive. Not great, but they get it to work out as Fox picks out the right corner.
Now picking on the middle, who's come in to play defense after serving. Just that nice deep corner.
The line judge, Ken, who's in that side. Haley Lou on the line over on the far side. Quick set middle, and that's pounded home by Lamigora. Another transfer out of Long Beach State. So much of this team for Arizona State transfer portal because they lost a lot from last season. Not much returning. Lamigora coming back home from Long Beach State, as you saw from Tempe. She leads the team hit percentage at .387 and is a big blocker up front. Sims on the serve receive. Clinton off the high hands. And Friday night, this is how Clinton made her hay, was high hands hitting off the big block of Arizona.
I mean, using the block, you could see with that swing, that ball ricocheted so high off the block. There's no way that Arizona State's going to be able to play defense behind it. I think it's a great swing.
Presley, who stepped up big in the absence of Glover, swung around a long run, but could not keep it in.
Yeah, you see those right sides do a different, each player does a little bit different. She came back behind the passers, running along the baseline there to hit the ball.
Tip over by Parrott. K-State bump sets Clinton, and with not much of a block, she pounds it down.
Yeah, this time, inside the block for Nia Clinton. Does a nice job seeing the block and really using what's in front of her. Saw that cross-court shot, put some power on it.
Good serve has Arizona State pushing it out left, and Parrott finishes the double block. At Grand Canyon, a All-American in her junior season, 3-time first-team All-WAC selection. Top outside hitter. Serving right at Shaylee Myers. K-State goes right, covered by Frame. Miller throws to the middle, popped up twice, but not 3 times. And Miller, who transferred in from West Virginia last season, will end up with the kill. Miller saw some time on the right a year ago. That was the lead outside at West Virginia a few seasons back. Clinton again into the block, covered in the back row by Parrott. Frame didn't want to risk it going out, and throwing it down is Lamigora.
Yeah, Lamigora getting up in transition, allowing a really fast offense in transition. It's really hard for K-State block to even get anyone really in the area. to defend the ball.
Williams was getting there, but you're right. As you said, a kind of a scramble play. Set that quick in the middle. And now this time, Arizona State ready for Clinton. Delivers another block.
Lamigora again doing a nice job finishing and closing the block, not in that cross shot that she hit this last time out.
4-0 run will end with a serve that is too long from Parrott. That'll get Cluckfin back in for K-State. She'll go back to serve. KC Power was her club team out of Kansas City. Lamigora heating up.
Yeah, with the tempo Arizona State's running on their offense really allows some space for their attackers to hit into, because there's really only one-on-one blocking for K-State in that fast tempo.
5-1 run here by Arizona State. Block thrown by Miller on Jordan Williams. Tip try by Clinton. Arizona State won't get over. And if you're wondering why there's a different gold jersey on the court, this is a new rule this year for Arizona State. They're employing it. You can switch who is libero midway through a set. And right now, Faith and Ella Lewis are switching at libero in the middle of a set. Miller blocked. There's Frame, who's just back in at libero. Deep tip that Clinton gets outside to Myers, and the block will go out for a point for K-State. What's your take on the libero rule? Having a libero switch in the middle of a match.
Well, you know, it's a little bit more of that specialty. You know, we're seeing that more and more, kind of getting higher efficient, putting your best players on the court. And there's got to be a reason why in that rotation they make that change. And, you know, it's all based on numbers and playing the statistics and the numbers. And we know Coach Van Niel is all about playing the numbers.
Absolutely. 12 years as a investment bank hedge fund manager. So that was the big question everybody had. Was there some sort of secret statistic that he had threaded the needle to find that would be the answer to all volleyball? Not sure it's as simple as that, but he has built a powerhouse for the Sun Devils in a short amount of time. Service error for K-State. And we've heard Jason Mansfield talk as well about passers sometimes are more comfortable or rate statistically better as a left back or a right back, so it could be as simple as that. One of your passers is more comfortable in one side of the court, and they rotate that person out. Myers trying to hunt for the back line a little long, and K-State 5 attack errors, 2 service errors. That's 7 points to Arizona State. And we head to a timeout with the Sun Devils with serve and leading by 4 here on ESPN Plus. Sun Devils, J.J. Van Niel talking to his team right now. Again, we talked about it before. They've won 17 straight Big 12 matches in the regular season going back to last year. Opened with a 5-set thriller in Lawrence to take down the Jayhawks back on Friday night. And Noemi Glover, 4.78 kills per set. Now, it's limited time. She doesn't quite qualify for 12 rankings because she's only played in this day her 8th match of the season. But an incredibly strong team that has, you thought they might miss a beat after losing so many from last year's Big 12 championship team and a 30-win campaign. No, they have continued to roll right along and have some of the more key wins for the Big 12 in non-conference play. Took down Penn State with that tournament against Pitt early in the year. Only losses so far at Pitt and at Texas. Two incredibly difficult places to play. Myers. Is that a pancake save? At least ruled it is so far. K-State keep playing. They could challenge if they wanted. Myers blocked, kept up by Arizona State. Thrown out to Glover. Doug Myers, the freshman. Myers roofed.
K-State having all of the transition plays, which is great. Some great digs defensively, but having to throw that ball outside all the time against that big block of Arizona State. K-State's attackers are going to have to use that block more.
Timeout by Jason Mansfield as Arizona State continued to stomp on the accelerator here in set number 1. And again, down a couple of starters are the Wildcats without Kaylee Pond, without Brenna Schmidt. And the youth of the team not handling well this Big 12 champion squad of Arizona State really going.
Yeah, credit, Arizona State is that they're obviously serving Cluckville in the back row right now and putting a lot of pressure. So offensively, LeGrand is having to run and go chasing those sets and really heavy outside. We're seeing a lot of sets to the outside, so that makes it easy for Arizona State's block right now. So K-State's going to have to try to mix it up, see if they can get more offense going, get better into system with their passing.
Yep. To be able to run a better offense, you have to pass well. It's just as simple as that. Just again, like the offensive line, it's kind of the same deal, right? If you have a good offensive line, you can run the ball, you can throw the ball, you can do whatever you want in football. Look at K-State and their break receiving votes of the AVCA poll after their road win at number 25 North Carolina. They were picked right in the middle of a 15-team Big 12. Oklahoma State does not have volleyball, so they're the 16th team. Shady Myers, 4.84 kills per set. That was coming into play this afternoon, and that still leads the Big 12.
Yeah, reigning Big 12 Player of the Week, Offensive Player of the Week last week.
It's been phenomenal. 20 kills or more in 2 of the last 3 matches, 10 or more in 6 straight. 7 of the 8 overall. State. The Wildcats have played the fewest matches of anybody in the Big 12. Williams. So there you go. Change up the offense. Serve received well enough. Push middle, and even though it's a slide, still do a pin. It's at least a different look for K-State.
Yeah, and they kind of Cluckville out of the passing rotation there. She stood back on the pass on the baseline and allowed Sims to pass that ball and get that offensive pressure on Arizona State.
Cluckville with a good dig. Neal. She didn't get the kill, but she got the block along with Glover. And a side out right back for Arizona State.
You talk about the physicality of that block. Arizona State shutting that down, really closing the seams, not allowing any space there for the attackers.
Biggest block of Arizona State up against Myers. That's exactly what the Sun Devils want. This play on the serve by Shady Myers, tipped over. Sun Devils bump it out for Parrott. That'll be dug by Sims. Clinton from the back row, able to wall it through the 6'4" arms of Colby Neal.
And K-State's really going to look to involve their attackers in the back row for this reason exactly. Gave them a one-on-one opportunity and really an effective play when you're transitioning and trying to keep that ball and get some pressure on the Arizona State block.
Center to the back row in LeGrand. 12 aces to lead the team. 13!
You talk about service pressure right there. The middle for Arizona State gets in the way. Libero passing that ball and just a perfectly placed serve there by LeGrand.
Same spot, this time Neal holds. Glover, tip try, saved by Sims. Myers then off the block. Back-to-back points by
tip try there by Glover. K-State able to get a hand of some sort on the ball, and then nice swing by Myers for the finish.
Friday was National Pancake Day. We had Sophie talking about pancakes. We showed that great clip of Sim pancake the other night against Nevada. She gets another against 8th-ranked Arizona State. Sims with a one hand up, keep the ball in play. Myers off the high hands, and it will fall. 3 in a row for K-State, and J.J. Van Niel frustrated once the timeout. So suddenly the Wildcats have found a bit of a rhythm. Is it as simple as passing, or what is it for K-State?
I think the attackers are taking a little different approach. We're seeing a lot more high hands. That ball is ricocheting so high and deep that the defensive players aren't able to run it down, or it's catching them high. And we saw that there for Arizona State, caught their libero in the shoulder, and then they're able to turn that play.
Jason Mansfield talking with Myers. Mansfield, before he became a head coach here at K-State, was an assistant at Stanford and Washington. Paths crossed with J.J. Van Niel before that, even when he was coaching club. And as you can see there, he won the national championship at Stanford. He also went to 7 Final Fours in his time at both Washington and Stanford, and he largely coached outside hitters during his time as assistant coach. 2 or 5 Olympians, 25 All-Americans, and that includes Aaliyah Carter in that list, who was an honorable mention All-American during her time here at K-State. Steve Astor, his good friend, associate coach down coaching defense right now. Some instructions to the team. To look at J.J. Van Niel. Different pass for these two guys, but now getting their shots at the Power 4 level. As you look at the resume of J.J. Van Niel, the biggest one is, again, so many years in the investment bank hedge fund world, and then coming into volleyball, where he was a longtime club coach in San Diego, both men and women, went to be a consultant or a scout with the U.S. women's national team. Utah for 2 years, 5 years an associate head coach at USC, that he gets his shot for the first time at Arizona State. He, like Mansfield, is in his 3rd season. And these two are very similar in how they talk, what they talk about, how they go about their business with the team. It was interesting talking with both this week, hear the similarities and see why they have a connection from their days in club and then now as head coaches. Arizona State able to back a 4-0 run of K-State and get the side out. And it will be Neal who will go to serve. Julian Neal, the sophomore outside hitter who rotates in. Myers on the right is blocked. Quick set Lundgren, that is blocked. Fox on the left, and that is out. So Arizona State protects 2 in a row for the Sun Devils near the end of this first set. Jillian serves once more. 3 aces, 8 errors for Neal this year. Picking on Clinton. Through the block.
You really see that set for Glover on the right side. It's a pretty high set. Almost like K-State's block was a little early and coming down as she attacks that ball.
Jason Mansfield talking to Reagan Fox off the court. One thing you probably don't want to do against this team is give too many free tips over. Either you got to go up and swing or the block, or something. Not just give a free pass.
Yeah, really, if you're going to tip, you got to place it somewhere aggressively, you know, hard cross court, you know, deep down the line with your setter playing in the back row. You know, you want to take the set out of that setting position. So, you know, really thinking about that play. If you're not able to swing, then make a more aggressive decision with that tip.
A little bit of a youth play there by Reagan Fox. Again, really in her first year. It's interesting, K-State's roster is not all freshmen, but they have a lot of new players playing new positions. LeGrand, first year, full-time. Fox, full-time, first year as a right side hitter or in the lineup every time for K-State. Same for Sims as libero, first time for her.
And Myers as well. I mean, you know, she had a lot of playing time kind of early in her career, then kind of tapered off and hit or miss, and then really full-time on the court all the way around. You know, this year is kind of new for her over the last year or so. So, yeah, definitely a lot of new faces, but experience too.
Right, they've played matches, and they've played a lot of time for Jason Mansfield, but that's not every day as a starter, and there is a little bit of a change that goes with that. Learning how to win is another thing that they're trying to find some success at a fleet away last year. It's the third all-time meeting between the two teams. Not much of a series history considering the two not conference mates until now. K-State lost last year in Tempe.
That right there is a perfect example by Parrott. Down the line, deep aggressive tip with your setter, you know, in the back row, and really play there.
Shows what you can get out of the portal and what some of the advantages are. You get a veteran hitter in Parrott who's played a lot of volleyball on the left and understands where to go with that. Myers finally able to answer back. Shady now with 5 kills. Not a hard swing, but a smart swing. And now Myers to serve. Misplay. And Glover whiffs. Play.
Yeah, you know, with Glover being left-handed, South over there on the right side, able in transition to throw that ball out there. It's just, you know, unfortunate mishit there.
Good serve receive this time, and it sets up a quick pass and finish to Lamigora.
Yeah, and really not a lot of power behind that swing, but just good placement.
Sydney Henry, the other setter, into the back line. Kansas City native, or Kansas City transfer, I should say. Colorado native. Myers from the back row splits Henry in the back line. Henry and Miller flat-footed.
I really like the tempo Durand is putting on this pipe swing.
Seen a lot of sets to that.
It's just really giving the block some trouble for Arizona State.
Henry will set as she comes racing around the formation. All the way out left for Cleveland, and that is roofed by Presley to end the set. And Arizona State wins set 1, 25-19, and hits 3-1-3 while doing it. Great offense by the Sun Devils, and 5 blocks on defense. Set 2 when we return. You're watching the Big 12 on ESPN+.
Great fortune awaits with Tiger and Dragon from the Kansas Lottery. Win up to $125,000 instantly, plus even more with the Play On app. Unleash your luck today.
Behind every winning team is a playbook. Ours, it's built on trust, team, care, passion. Headquartered in Manhattan, Kansas, and founded by proud K-State alumni, we're purple to the core. Just like our passion for the Cats, our passion to make buying and selling equipment simple, transparent, and straightforward runs deep. At Purple Wave Auction, our #1 play is connecting buyers and sellers across the country with no reserves and no surprises. From ag and construction to fleet equipment, we're your trusted team. Purple Wave Auction, proud sponsor of K-State Athletics.
Hey, grab me one too.
What we grow here defies expectation. Hungry minds searching for answers. Explorers of the impossible. Breakthroughs without end. People who see the world not as it is, but as it could be. You'd be amazed at what we grow here.
Arizona State, a dominant first set, wins 25-19. They hit 323 while they did it. Shady have 6 kills to lead all scores for K-State. But Noemi Glover with 5, hitting 444 in set number 1. Brian Smolder, there's Wagner Bush, our entire crew back with you. 5 blocks as well for Arizona State. And truthfully, as you look at the 9 errors by K-State on their attack, while serving wasn't as big of a problem as it was on night for K-State, they're having some trouble passing well enough to get away from the block of the Sun Devils, it seems.
Yeah, it seems like K-State's really putting pressure on their serve on Arizona State. So yes, it's more right now. They need to get into some offensive rhythm and put more stress on that Arizona State block because they're big. They're up there. They need to put some tempo on their sets, and they have to be able to get a pass-in system to be able to do that.
So what does K-State have working for them in set number 2? In second sets this year, K-State is 7-2. Arizona State equally as good in second sets. They're 9-3 in 2 sets in the second set so far this year. Both of these two teams, that's their best. So again, shows you the two coaches are very good at adjustments and their staffs respectively adjusting to what they've seen from everywhere else. Sold out Morgan Family Arena, 3,000 strong. This volleyball-only facility built just a couple of years ago. Beautiful facility. Talking with some of the Arizona State folks who came here today on the trip specifically to take a look at what K-State has here for volleyball. That's perhaps a model for the future of Arizona State volleyball as they look to perhaps one day have their own volleyball-only facility. Just joined us, no Brenna Schmidt again for K-State, injured at East Carolina, the final match of that North Carolina tournament, and no Kaylee Pond today, starter who had been in the back row and had been rotating at libero with Simone Sims. So 2 starters out for K-State as they match up against the 8th-ranked Sun Devils. Clinton had gotten a break with a dig by Frame on the sideline. That one all headed out, perhaps, played by LeGrand. Clinton blocked inside of the pin by Glover, by Neal.
Yeah, great dig there in the back row by Arizona State. Libero initially on that cross-court shot by Clinton. Gave him a chance, though, turn some defense into some points.
Fox on the right side. Did she keep it in? She did not.
That's a great idea. The line shot is open there. Just got to keep that ball in bounds.
Good positioning by Frame. You saw her foot right on the line so she can tell if it's headed out or not. Joust above the net, set her in the back row, and with that, it becomes a point for K-State.
Yeah, that is the tough part, running that 6-2, always having a setter in the back row. So any tight digs, passes at the net, make it hard. That's why it's good of Clinton to be up on that play and touch the ball, because then that's a back row attack.
Joe Gonzalez getting an earful from J.J. Van Neal. Earful in quotation. It's about as emotional as you'll see Coach Van Neal. Pretty even-keeled. Miller blasting it off the block for a kill to answer back.
Smart swing there by Miller. Really been able to get good full approach on the ball. Able to just swing off those high hands. You know, I talk about it all the time. Good kill off the block. It's my favorite kill.
They're going to put it up. Might as well. Overpass on the serve. Free play for Arizona State. Glover dug out by Sims. Middle attack. Myers! And she drills it.
And right now, that pipe or the pick up the middle there for K-State has been the go-to. Getting a lot of kills there in that transition. And again, I think the tempo's great. And one-on-one there, Myers able to see the block. And
so Clinton to serve. Quick set out right, and it's blocked by K-State.
that's a great sign there. Good set there by Grand. And then Williams hustling out there to finish on that fast set, but really Grand on that. Good setup there. Block.
5'10", has good reach. That is one of his strengths. Both he has a blocker and an attacker. Quick set middle. Neal able to get it in front of Clinton to answer the Wildcats' 3-0 run, and now Arizona State back up by 1 point. Going back to the pipe attacks by K-State, clearly something they saw in scouting that they felt like they could have had as an option today.
Well, with the physicality of, athletes anymore, and that fast tempo, they're almost like a front row attacker. You've got a really physical hitter in the back row. It's really amazing how that's really evolved and added almost a fourth attacker sometimes in your offense and in your kind of toolbox.
It's a great point because it was such a rare thing.
Well, it was a lot higher and a lot slower, process, and I think it's really evolved in the game of volleyball. And just, again, the physicality of how fast the game has become, it really shows in that play.
Well, and athletes are faster, stronger, the whole 9 yards too. Along with that, and take away from anyone in the past because there were supreme. But I remember calling matches in the past where you saw somebody hit at the back row. It was like, you're like, what? That's such an odd. I'm not making it like once a match, but it would be. You wouldn't see it that often.
Right.
Once a set, perhaps.
Right. It was more kind of just throwing it up there. Need to get the ball over the net with some pace.
Or you had someone that was just freakishly athletic that could go get it and keep it in. Presley, again, always amazed at how far Presley has to go to get to that position to attack, but she finishes again.
Fast. She gets all the way around there, and nice transition play for Presley.
Really stepped up of Maryland, an athlete that was scouted out. We talked with, as an ace falls in for Arizona State, we talked with Coach Van Neal about Presley. Again, Maryland to Arizona State doesn't seem like a natural sort of recruiting area, but it was on a recruiting trip, got word that her options were open after a coaching change, and went and saw her basketball family. He said yes, could see the potential. Tip over the block, and well read again, veteran move. Barrett.
Yeah, just a perfect touch on the ball, right over the block.
4-0 run here by Arizona State. Pick it on Clark. LeGrand, who has a few kills, is going to get a third. LeGrand has been more aggressive here today than she was on Friday.
Yeah, I wonder if that's something scouting that they kind of noticed watching film, but I really like her decision making here so far this afternoon.
3 kills added to that. You see there, 10 assists, 3 digs. Too fast for Lamadora. Well, Lamadora, she could not get it over. LeGrand to serve as K-State puts up 2 after a 5-1 run by the Seminoles. No shot by Parrott. Fox with only 1 blocker, again, could not keep it in. 2 times in a row, pretty good for Fox.
Yeah, good decision again by LeGrand. Just got to get that play inbounds.
Or at least off the hands if you're going to try and clear the block. Here comes Fox to the near side, blocked by Presley. Myers will. Presley dug by LeGrand, shoved home by Lamadora.
Overpass opportunity there by Arizona State. K-State kind of scrambling in transition to keep that ball alive. Lamadora is going to take advantage of that.
Seminoles won the first 25-19, hit 323. Not quite as sharp here in the second set. Fox this time able to rattle it through the block. It's the 3rd kill for Fox, who's still hitting below 0%. Tough afternoon for her to this point. continuing the battle. Another Kansas City kid out of St. Teresa's Academy. And an ace by K-State's Myers. Second ace for Kansas State. 10th ace of the year for Shaylee Myers.
Working that seam there between the libero and outside hitter for Arizona State.
And the Sun Devils on the run and a block by K-State, Lundgren and Fox.
You see, again, that created that pressure on Arizona State. Great pass, have to throw it outside. K-State's block able to set up.
Yeah, big block at that. Lundgren's 4, all arms and legs. Another overpass on the bad serve receive. Sims sets it up for Clinton. Off one hand, it's put over. LeGrand in system. Fox this time goes cross court and gets the kill. And K-State has come back to tie it in the second.
Arizona State just not able to pass into any offense and run that fast tempo that they're able to do. You see what that service pressure is able to do and why coaches put so much emphasis on it.
Myers serve, taken by Frame, set up for into the net. K-State Sims. Lamagora couldn't quite finish it. Here's Presley. This time she will through the block. So after a 4-0 run by K-State, Arizona State with an answer. That'll get Neal in up on the front row to join Presley. Miller to the left. Ella Lewis is in, the Woodlands, Texas. And she'll get an ace.
She's in specifically in this rotation to serve, and then she'll come out when K-State sides out. It's always an interesting, again, method to the madness there.
Fox blocked, but it is out. A point for K-State. The back-to-back kills for Fox after some struggles. Good recovery by the native of Kansas City, who redshirted her first year and only 7 sets played last year. Good serve again has Arizona State diving for it, but K-State cannot handle the shot across. Sun Devils side out. That'll get Glover back in the lineup. The mids of Arizona State have played well. Lamagora, Neal. That's balanced across the board for Arizona State. Myers from the pipe again.
Need to look and see what the percentage of kills are coming for these players, these athletes out of the back row. It's got to be pretty high today.
It feels like it, just as you say that. Puckman serve is long. Service error by K-State. So a side out back over to the Sun Devils. The side outs that K-State gave up on service errors in the match Friday. A lot of them early. That was a big problem, where it was the serves coming at a critical time. The service errors, right when you felt like you had some momentum. Service error right back by the Sun Devils. So now Clinton to serve. Open the match with a service error. K-State only 3 so far on the night, or the afternoon. Glover, tip try. LeGrand got to it, so she's out of the play. Myers blocked. That'll send us to a timeout midway through the second. A back and forth affair between 8th-ranked Arizona State and the Wildcats, who are receiving votes in the top 25. This is the Big 12 on ESPN+. Big 12 earlier today, 18th ranked Kansas beat Arizona in straight sets. So Arizona has their first loss. They go 1-1 on their trip through the Sunflower State. Jayhawks get to 500 in conference play. But Saturday's results saw Colorado finish a Utah sweep. They won at BYU and then won at 23rd ranked Utah. The Buffs, for sure, will be in the top 25 come Monday.
Yeah, I mean, very impressive. Like wins, like not in 5 sets. Like
Right,
they controlled those matches, and you know, K-State's going to get to see Colorado here in Manhattan this season. It's pretty exciting.
November 8th, part of a 4-match homestand. Barilovic for Colorado has been an instant impact player for them on the outside. Lamagora continues the Arizona State run that solved the timeout by K-State.
It's just so hard to defend that play. You know, there's so many seams, and it's a tough play to defend. And Lamagora is very good at throwing that ball down.
Which is why K-State had hoped to be able to do that today. Pass better to get their middles involved. And has just not come to fruition. Williams, only 3 swings today for K-State. Lundgren just once. That's only 4 attempts for K-State middles today. And that's somewhat indicative of passing has not been good enough for them to do so. Service error for Arizona State. Emerson Van Lannen will come in to serve, a backup setter for the Wildcats. She has now played in 6 matches in a row, and almost all of them have been in this role, coming to serve for 1 rotation. Serve receive mistake by Miller. Parrott off the block is going to get a kill out of that. What transition.
Wow. Glover running and keeping the ball in play and putting it in a good enough position for Parrott just to up there and swing.
So a side out for Arizona State, and now they will serve. And a service error. So a little bit more of those here in this second set. 2 aces, 3 errors total for Arizona State in this set. So you see the errors for both teams. Sydney Henry in the back row, the transfer from Kansas City. And now the Grand will have her go at as a server. Parrott trying to hunt for the back line. Did not get it. They say there was a touch. Looks like J.J. Van Neel challenge. So a video review coming up. We'll hear from Sergio Gonzalez and the specifics of what is being challenged, but it looks like a touch.
Arizona State is challenging that there was a block touch.
Get a look at it ourselves here. Now, on this play, everything will be looked at. Touch and whether or not it was in or not.
It's closer than I thought it was.
Absolutely.
In real time, I thought it was definitely out. That almost looks like it could be in.
Very much. As for a touch, does not look like it. Usually with a tower official there, they can hear it. Much like a first base umpire listens for the ball hit the glove and the runner hit the bag, the bang bang, you hear the double hit. They're sitting up there on the tower, you could hear a touch or not. And that looks like it may have caught the line. If it hit the line, that is in, and therefore a kill for Arizona State.
Upon further review, the call will be overturned. Ball was in. Arizona State retains their challenge.
So this is a little bit different than other sports in a video review in volleyball. Even though the specific thing that Arizona State challenged was the touch, and that was deemed there was no touch, because the play resulted in a ball being in, that is why it gets overturned. Arizona gets to keep their challenge. in fairness, trying to get the call right is what it's supposed to do. And in that regard, even though you may, as a K-State fan, be watching this thinking, oh, that's not fair, that's not what they challenged, the intent of the review is to get the call right, and that was the call. J.D. Myers on the serve. Yet another service error by Arizona State, kind of keeping K-State around in this second set. Miller blocked. Kept alive out to Presley. She's blocked and then opened up by Arizona State. Reagan Fox right side, and that will fall. Good adjustment by Fox. Wow, that crowd starting to get into it.
Great defensive effort there by K-State. And then Fox really putting a lot of pressure on Arizona State. See them scrambling more here in their transition.
Reagan Fox starting to heat up. 6 kills for Fox. K-State not giving up on their sophomore right side hitter, and she's starting to pay dividends as Kansas State is pulled within 2. Still only hitting 136 for the afternoon for the Wildcats. J.D. Myers leads with 8. Fox second with 6. And while Arizona State is hitting again over 300, 320, their errors on serve and then their mistakes on the serve forced out by J.J. Van Niel, and more than anything have allowed K-State to hang around in this one and start to feel like they got a chance to pull even in sets. What would you be saying if you're Arizona State, things turn around right now?
Well, you know, I think just relax. Let's get a pass. Let's get a side out, and you know, let's get back there, put pressure on K-State, and we can't miss our serves. You know, I think it's pretty simple. You know, like make sure you're focusing in back there serving at the service line, and you know, we aren't going to give 3 points to a home team. You know, they're going to be ready to pounce on that. Just can't make those sorts of errors.
So how does each team handle the timeout? Arizona State has 1 remaining. Great shot there of Morgan Family Arena. This place rocks. It was meant to model a Hearn Fieldhouse where K-State played so many years. That place, the old barn, as it was affectionately called, loud. And it's getting loud in here now. Lundgren with a roof on the right side.
Yeah, again, bad pass there for Arizona State. Really just one option that allowed K-State's block to really set up.
Lamigora misfires, another mistake, and the Sun Devils have seen K-State tie it up. Glover's going to come in along with Covell, and it looks like Arizona State is going to switch to a 5-1. Battle above the net. State side. Clinton keeps it in but couldn't get it over, and 4 hits sees the Wildcats' 4-0 run end with a side out Arizona State.
Yeah, just unfortunate. K-State, again, great serve. That was almost an overpass there, and just not able to take advantage of that at the net.
And now Lewis in for her 1 rotation to serve. Clinton hard into the block. Glover from the back row, block, but it's out, and it's a point to the Sun Devils. And Jason Mansfield wants a timeout. Balancing momentum, switching back to the visitors from Tempe. So now K-State will talk things over. Wildcats suddenly getting into a rhythm, and again, it hasn't been the middles, it's been the pin, and a lot of right side attack by Kansas State. Again, do you think that's more something strategically they may have seen in film?
Yeah, you know, you're going to look at the outside hitter. Obviously, we know Glover on the right side is a huge block there. And so, yeah, if you can get your right side more involved and find more seams, because they think a lot of it's going to be coming outside. So give that attacker on the right side a little bit more opportunity to move the ball around. Just unfortunately, K-State made too many errors when they had those opportunities, because they had some one-on-one opportunities, early on with some attacking on the right side, but hitting errors really gave Arizona State, opportunities just to go on those runs.
Student section packed out today in the purple pit. Right across the way, the attack errors 15 for K-State, only 6 in this second set, but only 8 kills for the Wildcats. Arizona State's done their part to keep K-State in the match. Lewis still scoring back-to-back points by Arizona State. Has to kill by Glover. She now has 7 to lead the way, along with 5 blocks. Sun Devils as a team with 8 in 2 sets. So Lewis to serve. Thrown out right side again for Fox, and this time she gets it in.
Yeah, I think there would have been a touch on the block anyways. A good side out there by K-State.
Look at this wrist away look here from Fox. Right on the line.
Side spin on that.
Yep. And an ill-timed service there after you won the side out. K-State will give it back on the Myers swing and net. And then a mistake on that serve receive, and an ace for Arizona State. So an error, then an ace. It's just like that. The Sun Devils 2 points away from winning set number 2. You hate to boil volleyball down in its simplest form and serve and pass, but goodness, if you ever wanted to know why coaches talk about serve and pass so much, in 2 back-to-back plays, K-State's best player this year, Shady Myers, unfortunate victim of serve and pass.
Yeah, it's the foundation of ball, and if you can do those 2 things really well, then everything else is a lot easier. It does make everything else a lot easier. So your ability to play defense after serving a tough ball, all the things are so much easier. Your ability to run your offense and get into your hitters into a rhythm, it's just so important.
I remember for many years, Jim McLaughlin, later Susie Fritz, when they were here, talked at length about serving, and they would serve so many times, long practices of serving, and they really worked on different tempos of serves following each other. Like you'd have one that was a jumpy, and then one was a soft float serve. And then, remember, it was all really after. It seemed like that was the Jim McLaughlin plan, sort of his tendrils left on this program after he left, was that was going to be the basis of how you could make up a gap sometimes in talent. Absolutely.
I mean, you can make, teams kind of bend to your will based on your ability to serve the ball and put pressure on them, and it makes life a lot easier if you can pass the ball and get into some offensive rhythm.
Right.
You don't have to have the best setter. You don't have to have the best attackers if you can get into some offensive rhythm.
So receive, not great. Clinton trying to clean it up, could not. Arizona State to get closer to the set win, and it's Glover going cross court to get it and set up set point. So a crowd that was rocking and rolling has been muted on a 3-0 run here by Arizona State. Myers from the middle back, touched by Arizona State. Glover finishes the set. A 4-0 run to end the second frame. Arizona State takes a 2-set-to-none lead into intermission. Sun Devils behind their right side, taking advantage of K-State to lead it 2-0 in Manhattan, Kansas, to their first ever visit to Morgan Family Arena.
Free. You ready to play?
Always.
Play Wildcat Riches from the Kansas Lottery for a chance to win up to $360,000 instantly. Download the Kansas Lottery Play On app and get in the game.
Let's play Wildcats.
Every winning team is a playbook. Ours, it's built on trust, team, care, passion. Headquartered in Manhattan, Kansas, and founded by proud K-State alumni, we're purple to the core. Just like our passion for the Cats, our passion to make and selling equipment simple, transparent, and straightforward runs deep. At Purple Wave Auction, our #1 play is connecting buyers and sellers across the country with reserves and no surprises. From ag and construction to equipment, we're your trusted team. Purple Wave Auction, proud sponsor of K-State Athletics.
I wanted a college that thinks outside of the box. Scratch that. That doesn't even believe in boxes. That's not afraid to tap into the limitless potential of the human brain. And tear down the myth that great education is only for an elite few.
Being able to wear this as an analog astronaut.
Because the truth is, it's for all of us.
There has never been a better time to be part of the Big 12 than right now. This is a defining moment for all of us.
Big power hit from the outside. There it is.
Stopped.
And it cannot go over. Down the line, big swing. There you go.
And an ace.
We truly are a different league.
Well, the all-new ESPN app has arrived, and it's all of ESPN all in one place. It's your home for the most and best live sports. A whole you experience ESPN with over 7,000 events, studio shows, and ESPN originals with brand new features. It's a sports fan's dream. Some of those features include Sports Center for You, which delivers a personalized sports center based on your favorite teams' leagues. The future of sports has arrived, and it's called ESPN. Download the ESPN app on your TV or mobile device, log in, and start streaming. Well, this afternoon here on ESPN Plus, it's been Arizona State, the 8th-ranked team in the country, against Kansas State, and the Sun Devils up 2 sets to none. So take a look at some of the highlights of what we've seen to this point. 8 blocks for the Sun Devils through 2 sets. At the net, they force both offensively and defensively.
Yeah, they've been able to put a lot of pressure on with their serve, which really allows them to put their block up and not give K-State an opportunity to find those seams. And then, you know, offensively, they've got a lot of power at the net. Glover has not, you know, disappointed in her ability. You know, we saw her hitting a lot line. She's been able to hit cross court, and she's just, her physicality, as Coach Van Niel has mentioned, definitely shows out.
Preseason all-conference pick has lived up to the billing. Get back from injury. There were the numbers for Arizona State. Truly, Arizona State's service errors, along with a few mistakes in pass receive, were the only reason K-State kept it close in the second set. The credit to the Wildcats, they kept it close with Reagan Fox on the right side. But the hit numbers, the hit percentage, well in favor of Arizona State. If K-State gives a free ball to Arizona State, they are finding the floor on the other side very quickly.
Yeah, you know, and give, you know, any free balls if you're going to tip the ball offensively. Again, like we talked about, got to be aggressive with it. Put it somewhere that's going to make them have to work and get turn that play into some offense.
Arizona State chasing a Big 12 championship in back-to-back seasons. Of course, J.J. Van Niel, the reigning Big 12 Coach of the Year, after they won the Pac-12, come to the Big 12 and win the championship. And speaking of championships, as Naomi Glover shows off her abilities, we've got the Big 12 Women's Soccer Championship presented by Allstate coming in November. TCU's Garvey Rosenthal Soccer Stadium will have the quarterfinals and semifinals on Monday, November 3rd and Wednesday, November 5th. And the championship match will be at Baylor's Betty Lou May Soccer Field on Sunday, November 8th. Baylor just in town today on K-State Soccer before this. The top 8 teams at the end of the regular season advance championship with all the action exclusively found on ESPN Plus. The top 8 teams right now in the Big 12 in soccer all ranked in the top 30 in the RBI. So it's a difficult field to make for the championship run coming up in November. No tournament in volleyball. That actually was being talked about before the world of NIL landed upon us and changed with the rev share. And with that being enacted, it kind of changed the dynamics when it came to spending for athletic departments and conferences. But the rev share was kind of coming to fruition in all of college athletics. There had been talk and almost a foregone conclusion they were going to add a Big 12 volleyball tournament at the end of the year. Glover on the right is blocked back, but Arizona State covers. Glover will just pop it high to let her defense reset. Reagan Fox, and gets a call with Miller into the net. Reagan Fox, who had 5 kills and hit .333 in the second set, continues her upward trajectory after a tough start.
And Arizona State's in a 5-1 right now.
Williams able to get that up. It goes over the net. Covell will dump to the middle. That's the advantage of the 5-1. Setter is now an attacker.
They kind of backed up one rotation, which allowed Glover to then rotate into the front row now. The sub when you're just doing that for one rotation.
15 subs allowed for each team in each set. The disadvantage of a 6-2 is if set goes long, you can run out of subs. Block on Glover. What a roof by K-State.
See the excitement there by Williams. Finally able to shut down Glover on the right side. It was a really fast set. They do a nice job just closing the block.
Big time emotion showed by Glover and Williams. Quick set middle. K-State ready for that. Glover now in that position that Presley was running, having to run all the way around, and she was nowhere near. So the only option, it seemed, for Covell was Neal in the front line. And an ace off the top of the tape. What a start by K-State third.
Yeah, good response there by K-State. You know, down 2 sets, still fighting here in this match.
First career ace for the freshman Clark. Miller dug by Sims, but into the crowd. That ends what had been a 3-0 run by K-State.
And you see the effectiveness of that double quick. You pull that to a 3 and then a fast tempo set to the outside.
Miller to serve. Myers blocked, but got her own cover. Free pass from Parrott. K-State has options. And Williams screaming for a touch. Jason Mansfield, I think, will oblige his team and challenge here. So an early challenge by K-State as they try to keep the momentum of a fast start in the third set.
K-State is challenging block touch.
So again, everything will be looked at here, not just the block touch. Was anybody into the net? Did the ball land in? It's all there. Look at Steve Astor giving a high five to Jordan Williams. Steve Astor, who is all about the blocking schemes of K-State where they lined up. You know, it's going back to that shot on Glover.
I think Parrott might have got maybe a pinky on that ball.
For spin of the ball, looking for a pinky to bend back. I don't know. I'm going to say no.
Upon further review, the original call is going to be reversed. Touch out, point K-State, they retain their challenge.
I usually get it wrong. So.
Scoreboard for Liz Wagner-Bush. Yeah, you're right. I think he does move. Harder to see on this view than it was that high-speed camera. Again, another push by volleyball was to try and get high-speed cameras at each location so that you could do that frame by frame. The ball's moving so fast. But again, People mindful of costs these days. What an up and over by Covell. K-State makes Arizona State pay, however. It drops in with Williams. A rare attack by the middles of K-State. And now does J.J. Vaniel flip back to a 6-2.
And we'll see what the service pressure here K-State is able to put on Arizona State. They're not able to get into their offensive rhythm.
Clinton on the serve. Racing around is Covell, and Williams there on the overpass. Jordan Williams, start of the third set.
Again, another bad pass by Arizona State, and just K-State eating it up at the net.
So the 8th-ranked team of the country, after up 2 sets to none on K-State, will burn timeout. 4 kills, blocks for Jordan Williams. 3 of those kills and 2 of the blocks come in this set. Jordan Williams with 3 kills, 2 blocks in this start of the third set. She single-handedly has led K-State to a 7-2. Missing their starting middle blockers, K-State, and one of their starting back row players due to injury. Jason Mansfield's club has seen Williams rise up. Reagan Fox has also played well. And with Anaya Clinton serving, K-State trying to continue what has been a 3-0. Quick set middle, and Neal on the turn from Covell able to finish. Good pass by Frame, set it all up. 6-2 was run by Arizona State for the majority of those first 2 sets. They just switched to a 5 at the end of the second. Carried it over into this set, but another service error. And that's now 5 service errors in the last 2 sets by Arizona State. So much dominance at the net by their offense, and suddenly struggling to get any of that offense on track. This here right back by Van Lannen, who's in to serve as a specialist for K-State.
Back to the 6-2 there for Arizona State.
Yep, thought that might be coming. Whether that's responsible for the start for K-State or not. So Sydney Henry to the back row. We talk about 6-2-5-1, talking about the number of setters that play in a rotation for each team. Henry serve, aggressive one on Myers. Shaley gets it back, dug out by Miller. Not a great setup, and that'll be outside the antenna. So for the fans that are at home wondering why play 6-2-5-1, for the layman's terms, what's the advantage of a 6-2?
6-2, you have your setter in the back row always, so that gives you 3 attackers. You could put in a big block on the right side instead of like a smaller, usually smaller setters are smaller. So you can put in a bigger block, an attacker on that right side, and you always have 3 attackers in the front row.
And that right side block is up against the star hitter, usually of the other team, their left side hitter. Lamigora dug out by K-State. Here's Fox, who had that big second set. Miller forced to just roll shot it over. Clinton had to wait for it. Pancake save by Arizona State, and Presley gets it over the net. Still insistent on the Wildcats. They have their choice. They'll go to Fox. Dug out on the cross court. And then Presley airmails one over, an attack air by Arizona State, and the Wildcats, their largest lead of the night in any set.
You see the errors really piling up for Arizona State here in this third set.
Into the net by LeGrand. 2 costly service errors in this set by K-State. So of the 5 points for Arizona State, 2 have been handed over by the Wildcats. And be even more of a dominant third frame. Parrott serving here. And into the net. K-State touches the twine. Arizona State will get credit for it. That looked off kilter from the start.
Whew. A lot going on in that little sequence.
Back-to-back points for the Sun Devils. Lundgren on a quick set. Only the 4th attempt for Lundgren.
First kill of the night.
Lundgren playing for Brenna Schmidt, who is out with an injury. Presley blocked back by Lundgren, the Montana Player of the Year. And then Miller able to hit line. On Fox, Miller and Neal. Back-to-back points by the Sun Devils, and now starting to settle in a bit. Not a good set for Fox.
I think a good idea, just wide and behind the head of Fox.
Rare mistake by LeGrand, who's played so very well this year. This error by Lewis. There was a story written earlier this month on State website about LeGrand and Will Swanson, tight end for K-State, high school sweethearts that both had to play here at K-State, somewhat near their hometown of Papillion, Nebraska.
Wow.
That did not look like it was going to work out, but it somehow did for Neal.
Great set there by Henry, just on her knees. That pass, but able to get it up for Neal to get it over. Impressive.
Did. K-State's lead down to 2. Covell now in. Fox, who has been getting a lion's share of the sets after a great second frame, now being slowed by the Arizona State defense.
Yeah, a little bit forced into that kind of cross-court shot that set aside a little bit. And I think probably a little gun shy from hitting a few down the line out of bounds earlier in the match. Arizona State really been short on K-State here in this third set.
Glover wide. No touch. She tried to go line and missed. So those fingers for Noemi Glover, kind of an old school look there. Put tape on each knuckle, if you will, of the finger. Glover coming all the way around the defense, and it works out as nobody covers the block.
Yeah, it's quite a move by Glover, running around the passers, behind the passers. All the hit. That was a pretty fast for her.
Myers from the back line, able to finish. That has been K-State's best offense all afternoon. that X-go or pipe set, whatever you want to call it, from the back line.
Yeah, again, I think the tempo of that really has led to some success for K-State.
So Myers nearing double digits again for the 7th straight match. Nearing the midway point of this 3rd set. Sent a mile high. Joust above the net, but Williams caught the twine. So we are all tied. Or Arizona State pulls within 1, I should say. Jillian Neal rotates in to serve. Pluckman with a serve receive. Here's Myers trying to hit that spot where Neal came in. And then Glover finds the cross-court finish to tie it up.
Yeah, a little bit of an off kind of roll shot to the corner, and you couldn't have placed it any better.
So from down 6 to tied for Arizona State. Williams then blocked by Parrott and Lamagora.
Parrott gets all of that, sets it up nicely. Lamagora was held a little bit there in the middle, so late closing, so Parrott with the finish.
11 blocks by Arizona State. Myers trying to use the block, but misses. And Jason Mansfield will use a timeout. The Wildcats' high efficiency from early in the set has disappeared as the block of Arizona State has begun to rise up. 11 blocks, and we're not even through the 3rd set for this Arizona State squad. Colby Neal has 6, 5 for Noemi Glover, 4 for Lamagora. Total team effort. Of course, we opened the night by talking about Glover, and no surprise, she leads the way. 11 kills, 364 hitting, those 5 blocks that we mentioned, 3 mistakes on the attack by Glover as we look at some of the plays that she has thrown out there tonight. The Oregon transfer, preseason all Big 12, living up to that reputation. Listen, if you watch the matches she played up in Pittsburgh against Penn State, she was the reason they the Nittany Lions.
I mean, you know, Coach Van really talked about her physicality, and it's been on display here this afternoon. She's so physical, not only with her attacking, but also her blocking. And he had mentioned that he didn't even think that she'd really tap into her full capabilities. And, you know, really watching her here in person, you can definitely see that she's an amazing player and only going to get better with time. And, you know, coming back from injury and getting that full kind of power going, that rhythm and everything is definitely building for Arizona State.
Oregon junior, she didn't play a whole lot as a freshman at Oregon, just 11 sets, played a lot last year, and now playing really her second full year at the Division I level this year. And playing exceptionally well. Meyer tried to go cross-court and catch Neal, but couldn't catch part of her, and the run continues here for Arizona State. A 5-0 blitz by the Sun Devils, trying to hunt a straight set victory over K-State. In a building that has been tough for people to play in. A block by Shaylee Myers, and it just landed out. A fortuitous bounce for K-State. Myers with 10 kills, 7 straight matches in double digits. Van Lanning, who had an error with the serve her last time. 3 aces, 6 errors on the afternoon for K-State. Miller steps in front to get it to Glover, and a finish. One blocker in front of Glover. Good night. That is not going to work out.
Nope. You see a little bit more tempo on that set, so gave her more one-on-one opportunity. Lundgren just not able to close.
Lundgren getting sort of baptism by fire, facing two high-powered offenses in Arizona and Arizona State in her first two career starts. In the middle for K-State, they are very high on the future of Cadence Lundgren, but at this part of her career, it's like trying to take a sip off a fire hydrant. There's a lot of information coming out of you, processing. And you're facing the defending Big 12 champs who have won 17 in a row in the league. Myers way off the platform, somehow got it in. Parrott tips it over on the second on the way down and gets it to drop in.
Heads up play there by Parrott.
Now an 8-1 run. Myers screaming for the ball, gets it and delivers a hammer.
Her best shot here so far this afternoon. Good tempo by LeGrand. Allows her really to find that rhythm and slip that ball inside the block. Great shot there.
Here Myers just yelling. One and up by Clinton, selling out in the back row. Miller from the pipe. The first time we've seen that from Arizona State.
Yeah, it's a little bit higher set than what K-State's been running. Found a seam.
Lundgren, good swing at the middle. Arizona State popping it above the net, and they win the joust with Lundgren. Jason Mansfield may want to challenge here on that play, whether the Sun Devils were into the net. Lost or won a challenge earlier.
K-State challenging that there was a net fault.
There you go. One of the things that Coach Mansfield just talked about with this freshman class, which was ranked the top 25, and they have another highly ranked recruiting class coming in next year. They'll have 11 new players in the program over this year and next, and all in development is the next step. But one of the things he mentioned was strength and conditioning of the players as they come in, and Lundgren is one he talked about that needed some time to build up that strength. Look here.
That's definitely the ball, I think.
Her foot over the line, down underneath as well. Look at Miller's left foot.
Yeah, I think it's still on the line, though.
Oh, you're right. I bring up a point about strength and conditioning because you win those jousts. Upper body strength.
Right.
And that's just going to come in time with age. As you see Arizona State come down, it looked like the ball hit the net and made it move, not a knee from the Sun Devils.
Upon further review, the original call on the court is going to be confirmed. No net. K-State loses one of their challenges. They're down to one.
There you go. Well explained by Sergio Gonzalez. And a good look from our crew as well. I think that's the right call. The ball definitely hit the net, and then the lower bodies of Arizona State did not come down and hit the net either. This was the play earlier on Lundgren's swing. Nobody hit the net there. K-State, you're hoping that Miller, when she stepped near the line, would have turned into the net, but that didn't happen. Still, service error. The Sun Devils. It's been a bugaboo for them the last two sets. That gives K-State some hope here late. And now Shaylee Myers to serve. Myers has an ace. She also has a service error. Now add that to the list. Another. It goes back to what happened on Friday. It wasn't so much the amount of service errors, and there were a lot. It was when they happened. You finally get a break and you get a side out, you can't have a service error. Ella Lewis will pick on Myers. Clinton for the left side. So Lundgren's attacks earlier perhaps gave pause to Arizona State.
Yep, nice tempo on the outside and late closing block there by Arizona State, and Nia Clinton with a good finish.
Arizona State has been pushing middles all night long or all afternoon long. Glover leads with 12 kills, but then you have 4 others with 5 kills or more, and all of them are hitting above 270.
Impressive.
First miss for K-State from that pipe. Myers a little long. 11 kills for Shady, but 9 errors on the attack. Timeout by K-State on match point.
A challenge. Touch on.
K-State is challenging block touch.
Got a challenge, might as well burn it here. De facto timeout.
Yeah, you never know. Might be a little tip there on the attack there by Myers.
Usually when you get these challenges, you default to the players. What did the players' reaction tell you? And it didn't look like anybody from either side was indicating a touch.
I think it went right in that little seam. It was open, just not able to get on top of it enough to keep it in the court.
It's your best look, and again, as you said, went right between Neal and Glover. It was open as it has been most of the night, but not kept in by Myers.
Upon further review, the original call is going to be confirmed on the court. K-State loses their second challenge, and they're out of challenges.
Unless we win 5, and then you would get another. Frustrating 2 home matches for K-State with the road looming. 7 of the next 9 matches are on the road for K-State, including a trip through West Virginia and Cincinnati next week. Clinton up the line, able to stave off the first match point. 6 kills, 6 digs for Clinton here this afternoon, backing up her performance, the double-double on Friday. K-State will look to get healthy, get back on track when they head up to take on West Virginia. As it's a straight set sweep for the Sun Devils in their first ever visit to Manhattan, Kansas. And it's now 18 straight wins by the Sun Devils in Big 12 play. The final 25-19, 25-20, 25-19. Post-game coverage coming up next. You listen to the Big 12 on ESPN+.
Introducing the Kansas Lottery Rivalry Riches starting lineup. We're all players with the Rivalry Riches scratch ticket. It's your shot to win up to $50,000 instantly. Plus, you can enter your ticket into the Kansas Lottery Play On app for a chance to win great game day experiences.
Need a second opinion? Look no further than Kate's Heating and Cooling. I was told that my 15-year-old furnace had a cracked heat exchanger by a local HVAC company. I wasn't convinced and wanted a second opinion, so I called Kate's, and I'm so glad I did. Their team conducted a thorough and professional free inspection with a combustion analyzer. And in 15 minutes, Kate saved me $14,000.
10-year manufacturer's warranty? Not here. With Kate's, you're covered for life. Kate's, where service makes the difference.
Morgan Family Arena packed to the rafters tonight. A special environment, no doubt. Here comes another block! Cross court, snuck it in. As if this place needed any more energy, it is electric in this building. And then the block on Rockhold, what a rally! And then Fox with a hammer.
Wildly entertaining and unpredictable Big 12 has a champion to crown, and AT&T Stadium is where we're going to decide it.
Well, some of the Sun Devil fans that have traveled here from Manhattan to Manhattan to watch K-State and the 8th ranked Sun Devils as Arizona State gets their 18th consecutive Big 12 win today. We're joined courtside by head coach J.J. Van Niel, Liz Wagner-Bush, Brian Smoller with you. And coach, congratulations on the win, coming here getting it done. Your first reaction on how your team prevailed here today?
Well, I was proud of them because I thought we executed well defensively and offensively. We've had a lot of matches where one phase of the game has been good and the other's been struggling. So it was really nice to see kind of a complete game.
Yeah, you know, obviously coming off a really tough match, KU, 5 sets, you know, and then coming in here, you know, an afternoon game, you know, what kind of adjustments did you make, you know, first big Big 12 road matches here, you know, coming into this match here in Manhattan?
I think the biggest one was we went pretty light yesterday, and we had mandatory recovery, which was very funny to watch because we had a pool at our thing, and I think the kids were having fun with it, but it was pretty amusing.
Noemi Glover obviously gets a lot of headlines. She has another wonderful day today. We'll watch some footage of her, but her return to the lineup, what difference does that make for you as far as trying to balance out your offense?
I mean, it's huge, right? Because teams have to kind of key on her, so it opens things up for everyone else, and you know, she really is a go-to player. You know, when you're in crunch time, it's like we can set her the ball, and you know, she's going to get a lot of kills, and she's really physical at the net. I mean, when her and Colby are up there, I mean, those guys are just a massive block, and it puts a lot of pressure. So it was really fun today because I thought we balanced the offense out quite a bit. We talked a lot about that, trying to get our middles more involved against Kansas. We just didn't get them involved. And so Noemi did great when she got her shots, and we had a pretty complete game by all of our attackers.
We really did. Lami Gora and Neil both were able to get quick set, and the setters, as you rotated them, made some incredible plays to push middle, so it's clear that was obviously a focus coming in.
Yeah, absolutely. We talked about that. I think when you have someone like Noemi and even KP over there, they're both physical, and it makes it a little harder to defend because, you know, the middle blocker on the other side can't just bail, and so it left the gap open, and we were able to find them in some nice spots.
Congratulations on the victory. Best of luck next year, the rest of the year.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
J.J. Van Niel joining us in a post-game coverage. Again, Kansas State falls short. Arizona State gets to 11-2, 2-0 in the Big 12 Conference. Wildcats fall to 7-2 and 0-2 in the Big 12. Here are the final numbers. Look at those blocks. 11 today by Arizona State. That was the big story. Their block and physicality at the net, both at offense and on defense, that made the difference in this one. 307 hitting for the Sun Devils on the night, or on the afternoon. K-State 095. All right, Liz, your first reaction on what K-State takes out of this in this week. Down 2 starters, you battled. There were times when they played even with the 8th ranked team in the country. What do you take as a positive as you now go on the road here coming up next week? You know,
I think just continue to work and focus on that serve and pass part of their game, because if they can get that going, we saw what it did in that 3rd set for them. It really put pressure on Arizona State, one of the best in the country, right? So if they can continue to improve that part of the game and be consistent from the start of the match through the end, especially on the road, then I think that'll play dividends for them as they progress through the Big 12 Conference.
I think it's well said, and certainly one I'm sure Jason Mansfield will talk about afterwards as well. We already heard from J.J. Van Niel on the positives in the future for Arizona State. They return home for a matchup with Utah and Baylor. That'll do it for us here from Manhattan, Kansas. Boy, it's been a busy week. 5 games over the last 4 days for our staff. 6 in 5 days, I should say, with a doubleheader today. Big thanks to Alex Harbosh, our entire crew, our producer and director. And again, for Liz Wagner-Bush, I'm Brian Smoller saying so long from Manhattan. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN. Good afternoon from the Little Apple.